Before you spend another dollar on steak, hear me out, because there's a good chance you're paying extra for bones, hype, and fancy presentation, while the juiciest, most flavorful, budget-friendly cuts are hiding in plain sight. In this video, I'll show you exactly which steaks you should skip, the underrated cuts that taste incredible for less, and even a simple method to turn one big roast into a freezer full of steakhouse-style cuts. By the end, you'll know how to enjoy restaurant-quality steak at home without emptying your wallet. If that sounds good, smash the like button right now, drop a comment telling me your favorite steak cut, and don't forget to subscribe to EatFrame for more smart cooking tips. Let's start with the truth. Expensive doesn't always mean better. Often it just means scarcer, flashier, or more processed. Scarce cuts like filet or ribeye cap cost more because there's less of them. Flashy cuts like tomahawks look dramatic, but you're mostly paying for a giant bone that adds no flavor. And the more the butcher trims and pre-packages for you, the more labor costs get passed to you. Once you see these tricks, you'll know exactly how to spot value. Now, let's talk about cuts to avoid. Oversized bone-in steaks like tomahawks and big T-bones look epic, but the meat is thin in spots, cooks unevenly, and costs way too much for what you actually eat. Filet mignon? Sure, it's tender, but it's lean and mild, which means less flavor. You can easily overcook it, and for the price, you're better off with other options. Round cuts, top round, bottom round, eye of round, might look like a bargain, but they're tough and dry when grilled fast. They really only shine when slow cooked or braised. Cube steaks and sizzle steaks? Too thin, too lean, and too easy to ruin. And shoulder cuts like blade or sirloin tip can be tasty, but only if you braise them or marinate heavily, not the quick sear most people want on steak night. Bottom line, save your money and avoid cuts that cost more in hype than in flavor. So what should you buy instead? Here's the fun part. First up, the chuck eye, nicknamed the poor man's ribeye. It comes from right next to the ribeye and has nearly the same marbling and richness, but at a much lower price. Next, the Denver steak, a tender, beautifully marbled cut from the chuck that eats almost like a strip steak, but is half the cost. The flat iron steak is another gem, second only to filet and tenderness, but way more flavor and much cheaper. For bold, beefy taste, go with skirt steak or hanger steak. Marinate them, cook them hot and fast, then slice against the grain for juicy, punchy flavor. Perfect for fajitas, tacos, or just a killer plate of steak. Cooking for a group? Try a tri-tip or the sirloin cap, also called picanha. Both are cost-effective, packed with flavor, and incredible when roasted whole and carved into slices. And don't forget the bavette or flap steak, loose-grained, beefy, and delicious when marinated and cooked medium rare. These are the steaks chefs and butchers love, and they'll give you premium results at budget prices. Here's how to pick smart at the counter. Look for marbling. Fine streaks of fat mean juicier, more flavorful steak. Look for thickness, at least an inch thick for proper searing, and look for uniform shape. Steaks that are even from end to end cook better and give you consistent doneness. Seasoning? Keep it simple. Pat your steak dry, salt generously, and maybe add fresh cracked pepper before cooking. That's all you need. On the stove, a hot cast iron pan gives you that steakhouse crust. On the grill, use 2 zones, hot for searing, cooler for finishing. Cook to medium rare or medium for the best texture, about 125 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Always rest your steak for 5 to 10 minutes so the juices stay inside, then slice it properly, especially across the grain for cuts like skirt, hanger, or tri-tip. Now here's the game changer. Cut your own steaks from a whole roast. Instead of buying 4 pre-cut ribeyes, buy a whole ribeye roast or strip loin. The price per pound is lower, and you'll get to cut as many thick steaks as you want. Keep it cold, grab a sharp knife, and slice steaks about 1.25 inches thick. Wrap what you don't need, label it, and freeze it. A single roast can yield a dozen steaks and save you $80 to $100 compared to buying them individually. Plus, you get full control over thickness, trimming, and portion size. Trimmings? Grind them for burgers or toss them in a stew. Nothing wasted. Imagine this. You thaw 2 chuck-eye steaks you portioned weeks ago. 1 hour before dinner, you salt them generously. You heat a skillet until it's just smoking, lay the steaks down, and hear that perfect sizzle. After a golden crust forms, you flip, baste with butter and garlic, and check the temp. You pull them at medium rare, let them rest, slice against the grain, and serve with roasted potatoes and chimichurri. It tastes like a $50 steakhouse plate, but you know you paid a fraction. That's the power of buying smarter. So here's your challenge. On your next shopping trip, skip the flashy, overpriced steaks and grab one of the underrated cuts we talked about. Chuck eye, Denver, flat iron, skirt, hanger, tri-tip, picanha, or bavette. Cook it hot, rest it well, slice it smart. And when you see a whole ribeye or strip loin on sale, buy it and cut your own steaks. Trust me, your wallet and your taste buds will thank you. You don't need to spend more to eat better steak. You need to spend smarter. If you found this guide helpful, please hit that like button, drop a comment below with your go-to budget steak, and don't forget to subscribe to EatFrame for more smart cooking tips. Until next time, happy cooking and cheers to big flavor on a small budget.